Hey everyone, Dan Scott here. And if you're like me and you grow a ton of broccoli in your garden, well, of course you store your broccoli. And the best method for storing broccoli is to freeze broccoli. And if you go on YouTube, how to freeze broccoli, well, all these videos pretty much employ the same method where you blanch the broccoli in boiling water and then you throw it in more water in an ice bath. And I've tried this method multiple times and I always hate the way it turns out. So I got thinking about it and I kind of developed my own way of doing this. And it turns out much better in my opinion. So let's get in the kitchen and I'll show you how I do it. Where the first step is to wash the broccoli, and I wash it before I cut it up. And you see how I'm using the sprayer to get in these nooks and crannies here. Well, what I've previously done is I've washed this broccoli outside using my hose, and the nozzle on my hose has a jet setting, which is high pressure. So I'll blast out any potential bugs, insects, dirt, and then I'll bring it in the house, and of course I shake it off really well to dry it out. I want to keep this broccoli as dry as possible. Okay, so I'm shaking it out, and then I'm going to take it over to my cutting board and cut it up, inspect it of course for any critters, and then we'll move on to the next step. Now here's the broccoli that I've pre-washed. I've cut it up, and this is the size I like to keep them. Where as I was cutting the broccoli, I put this stock pot here with a little water in the bottom to boil. Now it's come up to boil. And what I'm going to do is steam this broccoli. So I just put my colander right in here. I cover it up. The hole's closed. I'm going to close the hole on this lid. And then I'm going to set the timer for 3 minutes. Okay, so the 3 minutes is finished. Carefully remove the broccoli using one of these mitts. And I'm going to spread it out on this baking pan where I put a sheet of paper towel to help to absorb more moisture. I'm going to spread it out. Hot. Of course, it's very hot at this point. But you see the fan there. Well, this fan is going to cool this broccoli down significantly, where right now it's about 160 degrees. And you put the fan on it, and I'll set the timer for about a minute, and then we'll see how rapidly the temperature decreases. 1 minute. And already you can feel the broccoli is already cooling down very fast. It was burning my hand previously, now it's not. And I've also done this without using the paper towel, and there's really not a lot of moisture on the pan when we're done. So this time I thought I'd try using the paper towel just to absorb any additional moisture. See, the goal is to keep it as dry as possible. And you see now the temperature's dropped significantly. It's 80 degrees, so it's almost 50% reduction in the temperature. And as I feel it here, it actually just feels room temperature now. So just after 1 minute, turn that fan off. Barely even warm to the touch. So then at this point, I simply put it in a gallon bag. And I'm going to throw it in the freezer and check back in about 30 minutes. Okay, it's been 30 minutes, and of course it's not frozen, but I'm just going to shake it around, break it up. And as we'll see after a few more hours, it will be completely separated and frozen as hard as a rock. And there you have it, your frozen broccoli, where the best method, in my opinion, in preparing this is to steam it again, or also stir fry it, where here I'm going to steam some. And I always bring the water up to a boil before I start timing the broccoli. And if you're like me and you like your broccoli a little al dente, well, 5 minutes is just about perfect. Looks good. And simply, I like to drizzle a little oil on the broccoli, and today I'll choose flax oil, as well as a little bit of salt. Just kind of show you, maybe I'll cut some. It's still a little al dente. It's not mushy. It's not like fresh steamed, but it's pretty close. So there you have it. The way I like to freeze broccoli and talk with my mouth full.